SLP had the new smog-legal engines scienced out, and was now among the forefront of speed equipment manufacturers. But by the early 90s, America's automakers were back to their old high-performance fun and games. Detroit technology had caught up with the rest of the world, and the new fun machines from General Motors were starting to have that old muscle car feel. Even the #1 litmus test for muscle cars, straight-line acceleration, was coming back. Muscle car fans from the good old days and a whole new crop of high-tech road warriors were taking American iron back to the streets again. For SLP's engineers, these new cars were a great place to start making their kind of horsepower. But once again, SLP had a bigger vision. They wanted to build a car that would offer all-world performance at a reasonable cost. The ZR1 Corvette had been Detroit's cutting-edge car since it first rolled out in 1990. Its double overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder aluminum block 350 was the be-all and end-all in American performance. This engine cranked out 375 horsepower in street trim, and the Vette's handling was race-ready. Duplicating the performance of the ZR1 in an automobile costing half as much would be a nice trick if they could pull it off. But SLP's high-tech hot rodders were up to the task. As a baseline for their modifications, they chose the 1992 Firebird. This car already offered blurred vision handling and bonsai straight-line acceleration. But when it rolled out as the new SLP Firehawk, it was a steel-bodied Corvette.
Those cars were very special. They were built really for showroom stock racing. They had highly modified L98 TPI engines that made 350 horsepower. You could get them with competition Brembo brakes. You could get them with roll bars, no back seat, a ton of chassis modifications. That was really the most hard-edged F-body you've ever been able to buy. It was reflected in the price, of course, but if you look back in the history of F-body performance, the 92 Firehawk has to be at the top.
To create the Firehawk, the Firebird's factory drivetrain was removed, and in its place went a special high-strength 4-bolt main 5.7-liter block, a forged crank, the hypo pink rods and LT1 pistons, and a custom-ground SLP roller cam. On top of the short block, SLP added a set of ported cylinder heads with 2-inch intake and 1.56-inch exhaust valves. A special T-Ram port injection intake manifold with tuned intake runners and a larger throttle body fed the charge into the cylinders, and a set of stainless steel headers fed the big SLP exhaust system. This engine made 350 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 390 foot-pounds of torque at 4,400, and would pull strongly all the way to the 6,000 RPM red line. Getting all this new power to the ground required another upgrade. The ZF 6-speed gearbox from the Corvette, a Dana 44 rear end with 354 gears, and Ronal wheels with P275 40 ZR17 rubber made sure this car would hook up on the launch and stick in the turns. All this performance came with a hefty price tag, though, nearly $40,000. The Formula Firebird's base price was around $19,000, and the Firehawk conversion ran it up another $20,000, pricing it out of the range of most Firebird buyers. This first Firehawk was exactly what SLP had promised. A car that offered Corvette-style performance costing thousands of dollars less. But even though the 92 Firehawk was a technological breakthrough and an awesome first effort, unfortunately the marketplace wasn't ready for a $40,000 Formula Firebird, no matter how quick it was. As a result, only 25 92 Firehawks were ever built.